Hi, I'm Charlie with the Cotter News, and we are here with
Shawn Fury.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
I noticed Coach K wrote a comment for your book. How did you get him or some of the other famous players you talked to speak with you or read the book?
Coach K, we actually sent him a book. My publisher wanted to send the book to famous people to see if they maybe would have a comment for it. So we sent it to Coach K about 2 weeks after Duke won the national championship. Not expecting to hear anything from him. And then about 2 or 3 months later, I got an email from Duke University and from Coach K. And in it, he said how much he enjoyed the book, how he wanted to say a comment, how much he liked it that we could put on the book. So hearing that from him, getting that email was a real thrill. I wasn't always the biggest Duke fan, but now I am because Coach K wrote. And some of the other big names, it was a lot of times just cold calling them. I would find a phone number or an email, and I would just say who I was. I'm writing this book. Do you have any interest in talking to me? And most people were very eager to talk to me. Some, it took a little bit more time to get them. But mostly it was just asking them if they want to talk, and if they were very excited about it. And I did hear no a few times, but I just kind of went forward and kept asking as many great players as I could think of.
Can you tell us about a great shooting performance you have seen in person?
In person? One I mentioned during the talk was when I saw Kevin Durant play. Obviously, he's one of the great shooters in NBA history, so that was probably the most memorable because it wasn't only just watching Kevin Durant play, it was also being about 5 feet away from the court from him, and he's much taller in person than you see on the court. He's about 6'9", 6'10", but he moves like a little guy, and he also made shooting look so easy. So that's probably the most memorable one that stands out, just because seeing this NBA guy just on my local playground was a real thrill, and he also was able to shoot from 25, 30 feet away.
I'm a 7th grade basketball player. What advice would you have for me and my friends in terms of becoming good shooters? Are there any specific shooting drills or practice stories that you'd like us to hear?
I think the most important thing, which I'm sure your coaches or parents tell you, is just be a gym rat. Just always be in the gym, shooting all the time. And one thing I talked about in the discussion was being able to make sure you are able to shoot from 10, 15 feet before you start shooting from 25 feet like Steph Curry. Because once you perfect those, once you get that down, it becomes much easier to shoot from farther away. But you can't really start from that far away and expect to be a great shooter from anywhere. So I think that's a big thing. Then I think just drills where you just get the repetition, where you shoot it so many times, and whether you'll have your own little form, whatever the form is. Each player is kind of different. But whatever you do, make it so you've done it so often that it becomes second nature. So when you're out on the court during a game, big crowd, close game, final seconds, you don't even have to think about how you're shooting. It's just second nature. It becomes just like walking or running. Your form kind of becomes something. You don't have to think about it. You just shoot it and you watch it go in.
Can you tell us about that, and if you've ever had that experience before, or can you tell us about the connection between your dreams and your writing?
Yeah, that with my first book, a football book, I actually had a sort of similar experience, and I joke with my wife that I can't wait till a dream to come up with my next book. Like, that's not a good way to come up with ideas for a book. But that one was, I think it was part of because I dream about basketball all the time, and I don't know if you do at this age yet or not, but 20 years after I played, I'm still dreaming all the time about games that I played in. And so one night, someone in the dream, and I can't remember if it was me or someone else, said, write a book about the jump shot. And when I woke up, I always have a notebook by my bed, and I wrote the idea down, and a few months later, started thinking about it and expanding it, and thought it could make a good idea, and it really does all trace back to that one idea. And with my other writing, I haven't really had dreams where I know what to write, but I definitely think each night as I'm going to sleep, I'm thinking about writing or what I want to write. And I think that it kind of simulates your brain and helps your creativity.